Okay, good afternoon. My name is Chong Keng from the Land Transport Authority. I'm the Group Director for Rail, Thomson and Existing Lines. Minister has already run through some of the salient points, but I'll just briefly run through them again. This will be my agenda for my presentation. First, I will cover just briefly talking about what happened actually on the North-South line Thursday and this morning, and what LTA is doing in terms of working with and supporting SMRT to comb through the North-South East-West line system to look for any visual or obvious anomalies, whether it's in the track or on the trains. And as a result of this, the time taken, Minister has mentioned about the late opening of train service on Sunday morning. I'll run briefly on that as well, and the free bus services. Next slide. So what happened on Thursday, I think by now it's clear what actually happened in terms of the disruption. The service disruption happened on the North-South line from Marina Bay Station to Braddell, and it started at around 18:55 hours and ended about 23:45 hours. Now, this morning, again, we had a train service disruption on the North-South line, and this time it happened on the southbound from Toa Payoh Station to Marina Bay Station. It started about 7:09. And service resumed at 13:48 hours this afternoon. So briefly, what caused the disruptions? On Thursday, a third rail about 40 meters length was found dislodged between City Hall and Dhoby Ghaut stations on northbound. Now, I'll later show you some pictures about what this third rail is about. And as well, there were 4 trains that got immobilized with the train collector shoes dislodged. This train collector shoes is the point of contact between the train and the third rail, and it actually feeds a power supply from the third rail to the trains. And then this morning, at 7:09, there was a report of a third rail cover. The third rail comes with a cover. I'll show you the pictures later. Found dislodged, and this was found between Newton and Novena Station, again on the northbound. And subsequently, it was reported that 3 trains were immobilized at City Hall, Dhoby Ghaut and Somerset stations on the southbound, okay, with train collector shoes dislodged as well. So you can see from both incidents that there's a similar pattern of failure mode, which is linked to the collector shoes on the train that's being dislodged. And likely this is due to contact with some external structure, which is likely to be the third rail. Okay. Now, if you take a look at these pictures on the screen, this is a picture of a train, what we call a bogie, and the third rail actually is a structure that's attached to the bogie of a train. And in a train, each car will have 2 current collectors. This is a good condition current collector, and this point itself is where the current collector actually rides on the third rail below. It slides on the third rail below the third rail itself. And when it's designed such that if it hits any structure, there will be a break in the current collector. And this is what you will see when it's broken. It's a break there. Okay. So this is the current collector shoe. Next, I'll show you what is the third rail itself. The third rail itself, if you look at it, this is a running track. Now, this is a picture of the Boon Lay extension. We have the running track on the left. These are the running tracks. And by the side of it, this is the third rail. You'll see that the third rail is supported by brackets at regular intervals. And it also has what you call a third rail cover. This third rail cover is essentially to protect staff when they're working around the system from being electrocuted. Okay? Next. Okay, this is some pictures that were taken from the Thursday incident. Okay, here you see now this is the third rail by the side of the track. What happened was that this third rail actually got dislodged on Thursday itself. All right, and this is the scene after they have restored it back without the cover. Okay, there are 2 pictures here shown here, and these are the parts that some of the parts of the current collector shoe. Here you can see the current collector shoe where it broke off from the train. This is a current collector shoe, typical one. All right. So as I've said, on one side of the train, each car has 2 on each side. So if you have a 6-car train at any one time, you can have up to 12 current collectors being ripped off, which is what happened on Thursday as well as this morning. So having established that the likely cause is due to the interface between the current collector and the third rail, what is LTA going to do with together SMRT? We will support and work with SMRT to comb through the whole system tonight. Okay, tonight we will do a full visual inspection of our current the collector shoe assembly for all the trains. Okay, there's currently we have 106 trains plus 22 new ones. Of the 22 new ones, we have about 14 that's already handed over to SMRT for operations. So we will go through a full inspection at the depot for all the trains. In parallel, there will be track inspection teams, again comprising both LT and SMRT staff. We will run through the entire North, South, East, West line and look at the third rail assembly itself, looking for obvious visual signs, and also to see that all the brackets, etc., are properly secured. Okay? And because of the extent of the line, we will need more time, and hence, Minister has mentioned, we will need to delay the opening of service till 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. Okay? By doing so, we also want to give commuter advance and sufficient notice to plan their routes. And we also need the daylight hours, which should help in the inspection, especially for these track sections which are in the elevated tracks. So what do we do then from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.? We will, SMRT and SBST will be running what we call free parallel bus services around the entire network to replicate the MRT service from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and at headways of about 10 minutes. And operators will be standing by additional buses for deployment if needed. There will be signages at stations to guide commuters to the correct bus stops for the bridging services, and SMRT and SBST staff will be at the stations to guide commuters as well. And as I explained earlier, if needed, operators will also beef up the basic bus services. So I think in short, that's the briefing for this afternoon, and perhaps we're now open to the floor for Q&A.